I used to run the mission Sunday school class here, and I've coordinated perspectives here 3 times, and we're going to have it again this fall. So I would encourage you to check that out. And I've been going down to Haiti with Father now. I think I've been to Haiti like 6 or 7 times. I've lost count, but I've been down there maybe 4 or 5 times.
I think 4 times.
4 times.
Yes. So, my name is Fadinel Tremont. I'm originally from Haiti, and where you going for before you go to Jacmel is part of the if I say the county where I grew up, called Cavaillon in general, but Valbuena is one of the city in Cavaillon. I've been in the U.S. for 31 years now, since 1985. So I spent 10 years in the U.S. before I returned to Haiti upon a vision God gave me to start to go for a mission trip to Haiti. I thought it was going to be one time, but since 1995 I had never stopped going there. And then in 1998, God gave revelation to 2 of my church members who came from Jacmel. They had the revelation in 1997, so we went for the mission trip in 1998. We spent 9 days there. There were 250 people came to Christ, but unfortunately, we were able to hold about 37 of them. But since then, we founded a church there, and I go there every year except 2014. In 2004, I did not go. And yes, we had several ministry activities there, such as medical outreach, evangelism outreach, all kind. And we founded a school there too since 2008. Now the school is holding 160 students. And that's how. So I also founded a church here in 1992. So the church is nomad now, all over the place. But by the grace of God, we are still surviving. We just celebrated our 24th anniversary last Sunday. And I'm glad to know that you are going to Haiti, not only Valbuena, but also Jacmel and elsewhere to preach the gospel. Already you are welcome. And I think the invitation is to talk about the Haitian culture, but it is not something accidental. You may hear even Haitian people, especially those who do not know Christ, will say our culture is voodoo. Yeah, they believe it's voodoo. Yes, it was like that because before there was no gospel in Haiti at all. And I think the first person to preach the gospel, it was in 1700. That's a missionary from France. But that did not spread too much. But there's a Baptist missionary in Haiti who just celebrated 80 years of existence.
Wow.
That's the main line of evangelical people who bring the gospel from Cuba to Haiti, but it was more toward the south. Later on, the gospel starts spreading now from America to Haiti. But now they pretend that there are more than 50% of Haitians who are Christian. But at the same time, mix, because still certain people may be in church but not really at it. But in Haiti, people go to church more regularly because of the style of life in Haiti, poverty, people are suffering, so they may go to places to pray, even though if they are not Christian. Mm. But at the same time, it is a possibility to attract people more easily. It's like something normal to them to come to listen to the gospel instead of opposing to it. You may have a service, you have a bunch of people, all of them may not be Christian, but they will be willing to participate. And, now, if we go back in terms of culture, you may have culture in terms of Haitian culture, but at the same time, even in the churches, there are kind of differences, depend on the religion. And, before it was more separated. For example, the Pentecostal churches we've always had to worship, but Baptist churches were quiet before, but now it's difficult to make the difference in their services. You know, it's like they worship like Pentecostal. The only thing that is not too common among the Baptist churches, they do not believe in what we'd call Holy Spirit manifestation. Mm-hmm. But the worshiping is about the same. In terms of religion too, it's like you may find Baptist church or churches that their doctrine are close to Baptists, who maybe dress differently than Pentecostal church. The Pentecostal church always preaching like what I'm saying. They believe that sanctification is should be mixed with inner and outer appearance. So that's what causes the difference between Pentecostal church and Baptist church or whatever. But in terms of culture,
I've got a question.
Yes.
So, from what I understand, the Catholic Church is not much of an influence there in Haiti.
Pardon me?
The Catholic Church. Is the Catholic Church a part of? Have much influence there?
Okay. The Catholic Church is, yes, I did not mention that, but the Catholic Church is all over the place in Haiti, as it is all over the world. But like evangelical churches do not share too much with Catholic Church. It's because, for example, the reason why is because they always believe that if you are Catholic, you are involved in everything. It's the same thing for me. I grew up in Catholic Church, and I have the First Communion, or how do you call it? The other steps. I cannot remember. But at the same time, I was serving in the voodoo activities with my parents. At certain time, I stopped taking communion at the Catholic Church because when it was the Easter time, I went to church and the priest was drunk, and then there was a pen he used to do. They call it holy water. They prepare. He just kicked the pen.
Wow.
That says then I stopped. I stopped. I go to Catholic church, but never participate in Holy Communion or the activities until I accept Christ as my Savior. It's just to give you an example. Yes, it is a wide religion in Haiti, but evangelical church do not share with them too much.
The Catholic Church, from my readings, really got established like in the 1840s and 50s in Haiti.
Okay.
And then it incorporated a lot of, as Bodnell was kind of talking about, maybe voodoo worship and practices into the worship and practices of the Catholic faith.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of what's called syncretism, a mixture. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Fadnell, but my understanding is like people will go and worship in the church and they will pray to Jesus. But then if they have a problem like being ill, they'll visit like a voodoo witch doctor and ask. So it's operated like on a almost like any practical issues they're dealing with, like maybe they want to have somebody fall in love with them, or they maybe want to have a spell cast on their neighbor or something. They will go and they'll practice voodoo. You know, like it's more of a folk religion on that level. So is that right, Father?
Yeah, that's true. And that may go deeper. For example, a lot of church activities mix with voodoo activities. For example, they may christening a child, they go to the church, but when they come back home, there is kind of food they cook to dedicate the same child to the evil spirit. It's the same thing. They believe that if a person dies, the Catholic Church teaches that the person is in purgatory, so the parents have to do services for them. They may go to church and pay the priest to do a service for the person, but when they come back, they cook like of food to receive the dead person or to serve the dead person. So it's like a mixture. But that start, as Mike said, from the slavery. So suppose Catholic Church offered the slaves to join Catholic Church and they will set them free. So they accept like they were converted to Catholic Church, but that's why in Haiti you may go, you see like images in the Catholic Church at the Catholic Church, but each image represents an evil spirit. Wow.
When the priest thinking they are worship certain kind of saints, they are worshiping an evil spirit.
The Catholic faith has been superimposed on the voodoo practice.
So it's a big mixture, but it is more confusing now. Because Catholic Church was losing so many members, so they imitate the type of service the evangelical church do. So you may listen to a Catholic church service, you will not know if it's Catholic until, because they are not going to finish the service without mentioning Mary. So, but without that, it's like the service is the same thing. They sing in the same hymnal we use, and before they used to preach in Latin, but now they preach in Creole or French normally. It's all kind. So it was about religion, but otherwise, in terms of white culture, it could be culture shock for you who are going to Haiti, but it could be culture shock for the Haitian people too. By meeting with you depend the way, because for example, there's now there are more people are more strangers are more common in Haiti, but there are certain areas in Haiti where people used to be scared even of white people.
Oh, goodness.
If they are in the remote area, they never see white people. They may be scared of it. Now it's not much now because American people especially are everywhere in Haiti. And, but I don't know. As for you, maybe food could be a problem. Because yes, now because of lack of agriculture in Haiti, people rely more on food from the U.S. and Dominican Republic. But before, we used to use fresh food from our garden, which is completely different. You may, for example, rice is very common in Haiti right now, but before, people, especially in the people who are not in the city, they may used to eat rice maybe every Sunday, but now it is very common, and we do not have electricity everywhere, even in the capital. That's something we used to have all the time, but now because of politics and people use politics to do commercial business. For example, there is possibility to give the people electricity 24/7, but they cut it off because commercial people use that to sell generator to people.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's the problem. Even Jackmel, I remember after I founded the church, I had a week of revival on the park at the city of Jackmel. We spent 8 days there, even 11 o'clock. Anytime we finished, there was electricity, but now it's no longer. They give it whenever they want. That's a big problem in Haiti, the electricity. Because of that, you cannot.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
could you explain what a generator is?
Is there another name, guy? Mike, do you have another description for that?
A generator produces electricity. So if you're not, like here in the States, we just get our electricity from government, like power plants. But in a place like where we're going, like in Lavano, the church may have a generator that will produce
Gasoline and
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
pull them out during snowstorms and power outages.
So it's like a big battery,
Not a
More like gasoline, uses gas.
but it uses fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it will run for a certain, usually it runs to what, like 9:30 at night, and then
Yeah, because ours is a small one, but you may not pay attention to that. But if you go to every big company here or hospital, they have a big generator outside of the building in case the, as a backup, as like yeah. But it's just generate electricity. That's what we do. Where I was.
You're talking about the government.
Yeah, the politics and in turn not giving electricity, the difference.
Yeah. So yeah, what I was about to say now, that caused a problem for everybody. It looks like you cannot go and purchase perishable food, even if you have a refrigerator to believe that is going to be saved for a long time.
Wow, yeah.
Because they can cut off the electricity anytime, and then you don't know when you're going to have it. So it's look like almost whatever you need, you have to go purchase it day after day. Even in the capital, I may say that. But for where we are going, in Lavender, there is no electricity at all, even though it is about 15-minute drive away from the city, but it's still under development. We do not have electricity. So when we are up there, at night we use our generator for maybe from 7 to 10, and then we have to turn it off.
So bring a flashlight.
So that's a way to say, as Max said, it is a way to say always have a flashlight with you. It's very important. And we try to have inverter there, but unfortunately we have the inverter, but we purchased solar panel, but they were too small. They couldn't give us the power we need. So we are waiting to purchase. And other things, let's say about bugs now. While we're talking about flashlight, bugs in another part. And we always bring the parents with us, to spray on us. Certain people bring, how do you call it? The thing they call
The mosquito netting.
Mosquito nets. But that's depends if you are on the bed, because if you are not on the bed, it's more difficult to use. Yeah. And what should I say? Like, I don't know. Maybe you are more Haitian than I do.
I don't think so.
Well, anything about interacting with the people and the culture, what to expect, how to respond to people. And
What are some things that you would suggest not doing? What are things that would be improper for us as Americans to say, or that would be offensive to a Haitian?
In terms of saying, I don't think there is a problem in terms of saying. Yes, yes, English has become popular in Haiti. You may have, especially young children around you, you believe the person doesn't speak English, but the person may know what you are saying. Maybe it's not so common in Lavano, but elsewhere, English is very popular. But I don't know, I'm not aware about words you can say that are not appropriate.
Other than outright insulting someone. I said other than outright insulting someone.
Well, one thing I experienced on one trip down there was we had a fellow was always talking about how great America was, and the impression we had to speak to him about it because it was like he was belittling the Haitian culture and people by always making it sound like, well, Americans do it this way.
Yeah,
Americans
we're
do it
better.
that way. You have to be sensitive to that.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, if somebody is bragging, that may affect even me. Yeah, because to me, for example, I think Mark is the first person start inviting people to go with me in Lavano. But especially once you came from the U.S., or once I have people with me from the U.S., whatever what you say, they believe that I have a bunch of money. That's the problem. But if you brag now, what you make it worse, because even if I, it was true before. I used to tell them that the people who went with me, they are students from my school, they are not rich people, but they do not believe that. They always believe that you have a bunch of money, you don't do this, you don't do that. So bragging is a big problem.
you can have people, especially younger people, will approach you and they'll say like dollar.
Yeah.
So you don't want to give them any money outright. If you want to help somebody, you would give money and say, look, I want to help this person. Give the money to Father Nell, and then he will make sure that that person is taken care of. Because that can create resentment. I mean, if somebody else sees you giving money to a certain person, then they can resent that or whatever.
Yeah, because if you give to one person go and make a bunch of person, call a bunch of person to come to ask you. So what I usually do most of the time, I always wait when I'm leaving, and I split whatever I can with the people, especially the people in the kitchen or whatever. I do that. But as Mark just said, that it's not Lavano only, but at the airport now is a problem. If you can make a way not to pull money at all at the airport, it's going to be better. Because you may go to the airport and one person lay his hand on your luggages and two come, then it looks like you have problem with 2-3 people. All of them are waiting
They will
to
all
receive
expect
money.
payment.
Yeah.
Just
That if you can carry your stuff by yourself or deal with one person, it's better. But if you let too many people come to engage with your luggages, you may be in trouble.
the best thing to do is, as a team, when you're coming out of the airport itself into like the parking lot area or whatever, wherever you're going to your vehicle, is just to walk straight ahead. And as these people try to, they'll be coming all around you saying, can I help? Do you need help? Help? You just say, no thank you, and just keep walking.
Yeah.
Don't stop and talk with them. Just keep walking. And, because once they, if they can take your bag away from you or whatever, then they expect, or they even touch your bag, they will be expecting, they will get very upset if you don't pay them. So, yes, Ken.
The good thing about it, when we arrive, my brother-in-law will have it all arranged, so we really won't have, on our initial arrival, it's pretty well contained. They direct us, and so we don't really have to interact with
That's good.
with other people.
Yeah.
They will see you, but because he has his people around us, we are sort of shielded
Excellent.
from dealing with any of those
Excellent.
people.
So
So I'm sure that when we go back, well, yeah, you don't have the same problem when you're going back, so.
Actually, they will try to help you
when we're
Put your
going
bags
back.
in,
Yeah.
right outside the airport.
Yeah, we've never had a problem going back, but yeah, it's easier going back than I think coming,
Right,
when you're coming in.
you're right.
Your brother-in-law is Haitian?
Yes,
Oh, okay. And,
and I'm sure, and his, Jules, who is, his cousin, he's in Port-au-Prince, so if we need him when we're going, Jules is always on, he's always available.
okay.
So, we have, enough connects to be able to assist us in any way,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
One other thing that's important too is, when you are there, you're going to probably develop friendships for certain people that you're working with. It's really important not to make promises to them.
Yeah.
You may promise to write them or maybe send them money or something like that, or books or whatever. And then when you get home, you forget totally about it. And so, but they haven't forgotten that you made that promise. And so you have to kind of put yourself in their position. That, how would you feel if somebody made a promise to you and then they broke it? And then that kind of actually is a bad reflection on your ministry, and then it can actually cause them to maybe not trust missionaries from that point on. So it's very important not to make promises.
Not only that, if you make a promise you do not accomplish it, they may believe that you give me the money to give them and I do not give it to them. That happened before.
Yes.
Yeah, that happened before. There was a lady after the earthquake, one of the missionaries promised that he was going to raise funds to help him build her house, and because that did not happen, she left the church, I think, for 2 years. She thought I kept the money for myself. After 2 years, she came back to the church.
So it's very easy to, in the spur of the moment, just guard your tongue and make sure you don't find yourself making a commitment or a promise to somebody. Be very careful not to do that.
Yeah.
What about other expectations, like, would we be expected to give gifts to, or just any expectations that they would have? Like, I know sometimes, often, with our Mission Possible teams, for example, there's, when a team is leaving, they give gifts to their hosts. They give gifts to the people who have cooked for them and done those types of things.
Yes and no. It's not a problem. For example, especially if you are leaving, you just give something to people you have in front of you. That's all. But if you start doing it while you are there,
Right.
you may not